So another day, another Twitter rodeo. I'm sure you've heard about the claims of maybe a possible bankruptcy. I'm not just going to talk about that in this video. I want to touch on, again, some points from Tesla shareholders and big Elon Musk fans such as Dave Lee in discussion with Gary Black. Again, just because you're a big fan of Elon Musk and Tesla does not mean you always have to agree with Elon Musk and his statement or believe that he can fix each and everything. Because as I've put in the thumbnail, you see no real clickbait here, Twitter is not Tesla, nor is it SpaceX, nor is it Boring Company. Twitter, the product has an issue. Yes, we can all agree with that. But the bigger problem today is that it is running out of money, because without advertisers, which are more than 92% of how Twitter makes its money, there's no Twitter tomorrow. Yes, before advertisers were paying the bills, and so the main problem was Twitter the product. But since that hasn't changed, and now advertisers don't pay Twitter bills anymore, that becomes the main problem. We're going to touch on all of that in this video. But first up, we have this right here. So Twitter holds emergency meeting amid accelerating top exec exodus. So Elon Musk has warned staffers that the economic picture ahead is dire and said bankruptcy of the company wasn't out of the question. Again, it might be very, very dramatic, and everybody will run this headline the same way they ran the headline that Credit Suisse is the new Lehman Brothers. Remember that headline? Yeah, me neither, because it ran for a week and then it died off and nobody ever talked about this again. Welcome to media. So just like with Meta, for example, Musk had laid off about half the company's 7,500 workers last week. The company has a net negative cash flow of several $billion, Musk said according to the New York Times. Though he didn't specify over which time frame, he added that recent sales of $4 billion in Tesla stock were done in order to save Twitter. Now, apparently, banks who were stuck with $13 billion in acquisition debt in Musk's deal have been sounding out investors and hearing bids as low as 60 cents on the dollar. This is a Bloomberg report that I can actually show you right here. So Musk told staff that we can't scale to billions of users and take massive losses along the way. That's not feasible. Musk says company may have a net negative cash flow of several $1 billion next year if it can't bring in more than it spends. On Wednesday, they lost 3 top executives responsible for security, privacy, and compliance. And apparently now they also lost another 2, one for Twitter trust and safety, along with Wheeler VP of sales. So, who's staying at Twitter exactly? Just Elon? Now, I'm sure conspiracy theorists have already made their story. Maybe Elon Musk wants to bring down Twitter. Maybe, as I tweeted out yesterday, this is a $44 billion tax harvesting loss. Who knows? Either way, it's a very, very strange situation that we're in right now. And it doesn't do any Tesla shareholder any favors. And this is why we have to go to Dan Ives' tweet here. So he said here, and now sitting on top of the peak of the mountain with Tesla in a massive position of strength, Musk has managed to do what the bears have unsuccessfully tried for years, crush Tesla stock by his own doing in what we view as a purely painful dark situation, cutting price target to $250. Of course, this is purely a short-term issue. Longer term, I don't think this should affect Tesla that much. Of course, if Elon continues to sell, which probably he did sell yesterday because of, well, the high volume and the underperformance of Tesla, we'll have to wait until the Form 4s come out. But he does have a point. In the short term, this is hurting Tesla stock a lot. Then, of course, Gary Black agrees with him because he's been talking about the Twitter overhang for quite a while. And then Dave Lee, I don't think he has ever disagreed with Elon, which again is fine, right? You're a big fan. But on the other side, sometimes you can criticize the man. So Dave Lee says here, Elon's skill set is perfect for fixing Twitter. Engineering, innovation, and product revamp is exactly what's needed, and he does that the best. Risk though, it takes more time, energy than he originally expected, and that he gets heat fallout from unpopular decisions along the way. Gary Black here disagrees and basically says what I said at the start of this video. Twitter is an advertising business. His skills fit perfectly with an engineering-driven manufacturing tech business. And I agree. The issue with Twitter here is that without advertising, you have no way of surviving for so long, unless Elon continues to sell Tesla stock. But then me as a Tesla shareholder, well, I'll be extremely, extremely pissed. And of course, Dave Lee again takes the side of Elon Can Fix Everything. So he says here, Twitter is fundamentally a tech company that leverages network effects for attention and monetizes that attention predominantly via advertising. Although that's likely to change, adapt in the future, that is far different than just an advertising company. Yes, of course, I can also make Twitter and make it sound like the best platform on the planet, but it's not. All right, right now Twitter is a money-losing business. The only way it will make money is through advertising, which is not coming in anymore apparently. He continues by saying Elon understands this and knows how to build tech innovation to add value and increase the network effects of Twitter, thus increasing attention and audience, which can be monetized through advertising or other ways. This is a really difficult task that no advertising CEO can do. I beg to differ. I think Google CEO did a better job. I think, well, Zuck has done a great job since the start of Facebook, although yes, the underperformance of Meta stock recent year has been noticeable. But to say that this is really a difficult task that no advertising CEO can do is really, well, ignoring the fact that a lot of advertising CEOs have done exactly that and have grown their apps quite substantially. And then this is where I disagree with Dave completely. He says here that Elon has less experience with advertising than advertising CEOs, obviously, but the fundamental problem with Twitter right now isn't advertising. No, it's what exactly? It's a product issue. The product needs to be more compelling, and many of Elon's ideas have potential to improve user experience value. Okay, I can agree with that. But again, the problem today is that Twitter is losing a lot of money. And who's going to pay for that? You and me as Tesla shareholders. That's not something I signed up for. I didn't sign up to become a Twitter shareholder or actually Twitter's bank. I did not sign up for that. Of course, the product can become much better, but until it does, they're going to lose a lot of money. Tesla stock is going to, well, not move that much if Elon has to sell more to fund this crazy idea of his. Or maybe if we go back into the conspiracy theory time, maybe this was all a plan to bring Twitter down. He ends by saying, by the way, gotta love Twitter, that conversations like this are possible. Every other platform you can have conversations like this. Just so happens that Twitter is a place with, well, filled with disagreements and toxic people. So when you have such conversation, you are surprised you can still have those on Twitter. Maybe that's also one of the biggest flaws of Twitter, and maybe that's also one of the reasons why it will never become a huge thing, unless they completely transform the whole business. And to finish it off, Gary Black here says, strongly disagree. Twitter, the product, can be improved incrementally, but works fine. Well, it has worked for many years, so yeah, I guess he's right. The problem is advertisers are walking away over concerns about product adjacency and turnover. Someone has to pay the $5 billion a year in bills. It won't be the user's priority. And he's completely right here. Someone has to pay those bills. Right now, who's paying those bills? Me and you, Tesla shareholders, by having our stock taking a hit day after day because Elon has to sell his shares to pay those damn bills. Now, to conclude, and let me explain myself a bit more. I was actually for Twitter being acquired by Elon Musk, not for the amount of money that he decided to buy the business, and I think everybody can agree with that. He overpaid, should have done his due diligence. And yes, he jokes around and say, oh, I wanted to get out of the deal. Well, sorry, but you effed up, and well, now you have to pay the price. Unfortunately, this price keeps increasing by the day. Now, I do want to see Twitter change because it has been a platform that has, well, favored one side of the political spectrum and silenced that, especially in the last 2 years when everything you wanted to say or question was silence, and that's just unacceptable. We're not living in Russia, in China, or in Iran. This is an American company. Free speech should be the basic thing. Now, whatever is happening today is probably happening because this was planned, right? I mean, those activists were just waiting for Elon to acquire the company, then put pressures on those advertisers, and then those advertisers, well, we've seen what happened in the last 2 years. A little bit of pressure and they all break down. They suddenly put some millions of emojis in their bios, changing their flags each and every day, blah, blah, blah. But right now, me as a Tesla shareholder, I couldn't care less if Twitter goes down. To be honest, I couldn't care less if tomorrow they say, oh, Twitter is bankrupt. Okay, fine. Who cares? For me, and this is again one way I disagree completely with Hallmark's catalog, again, an account that, well, thinks that Elon is his concierge. So he says here, if you are a Tesla shareholder, you need Twitter to thrive. I disagree completely. If I'm a Tesla shareholder, I need Tesla to thrive. Tesla is my investment. Twitter is not my investment. I gain zero from the fact that Twitter might actually become something in the future as a Tesla shareholder. Zero. And so to conclude, whatever happens with Twitter will happen. But please, Twitter is no Tesla, it's no SpaceX, it's no boring company. It's an advertising business and it needs advertising dollars to survive. Once that is back, then you can start toying around with some new product features. But until then, stop trying to make Twitter resemble the likes of Tesla, SpaceX, and things that can be fixed with great engineering. It's not the case. Goodbye.